Presenting this keynote is Mr. Francis Alfred from the Cashewnut board of Tanzania. Please join as we welcome him on the stage.
My name is Francis Alfred. I'm the Director General of the Cashewnut Board of Tanzania, as displayed there. I'll be talking on the factor that has contributed to the growth of cashew crop in Tanzania for the past 3-4 years. Yeah, for the past 3-4 years, we've been seeing that there was a significant increase in the crop in Tanzania, as I'll be presenting later on. So I'll be describing to you what has happened for that growth in the industry. So this is a discussion of the areas I'm going to be talking about. One of the areas was about we've been distributing seedlings. I'll talk later on. So this is a brief notes on what I'm going to talk about on the factor that has contributed to the growth of the cashew crop in Tanzania, including distribution of improved cashew seedling services, proper distribution of inputs to farmers. I'll describe it later on. Improvement of agricultural extension services, conducive climatic conditions. As you know, cashew crop is sensitive to climate. So the suitable climatic condition also during the previous 4 years has come to this increase in the production. Also, there have been a stable marketing system. I'll describe later in the acreage expansion. Straight to the matter. As you can see, since 2014, we've been distributing seedlings to farmers. And this exercise has been going on throughout the years. So the distribution of improved seeds to farmers, which is being produced by Tari na Liendele, has contributed to the increase in the production. So the production we are seeing now is a result of the long-term efforts we have been done, which includes distribution of pests and seedlings which are resistant to pests and diseases. So we mentioned some of the seedlings that have been distributed to farmers that are resistant to pests and diseases, like AZA2, AZA17, AC43, AC34. These are some of the seedlings which have been distributed to farmers for the past 4 years, which has contributed to the increase in production. So for example, from 2021 to 2025, we distributed a total of 11 million cashew seedlings in the prominent areas which are growing cashew, but also in the new areas. As you know, 7 years ago or 10 years, we were only talking about only five regions which were growing cashew, including Twara, Lindi, Ruvuma, Pwani, and Tanga. But now we have more than 17 regions which are growing cashew. So this distribution of seedlings has contributed to the increase in production in Tanzania. The other factor is from 2021, the government of Tanzania, under the Honorable Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, introduced subsidy system for farmers, giving farmers inputs at zero subsidy. So for the past 4 years, significant amount of money has been set aside to give farmers organic inputs for controlling pests and diseases. So now there's a great control of pests and diseases. So most crops which could not produce in the previous years due to pests and diseases, now there is no such challenge because farmers are getting inputs which are subsidized at 100%. This effective distribution of inputs has contributed by the database. In Tanzania, we have a database for the number of trees, the number of farmers, and the total acreage. So when we are distributing inputs to farmers, we know which farmer or who farmer should get what amount of inputs. So it means farmers are getting exact amount of inputs to control pests and diseases. So that factor, by having the database of the farmers, we know what should be distributed to each farmer for control pests and diseases, which has resulted to the improvement in production. Another factor is the improvement of extension services. For the past 4 years, there's a lot of efforts which has been done to improve extension services in Tanzania, because our focus was how do we reach individual farmers. Initially, we are depending only those extension services which were employed by the government, but later on, we employed youth from the university under the program we are calling Building a Better Tomorrow. Under the program Building a Better Tomorrow, we are taking youth from the University of Agriculture. We are taking them, employing them under annual basis to go and serve the farmers. So for the past 3 years, we've employed more than 511 youth from the university, and distributed them to all the cashew producing areas. So now we are sure that every farmer is getting extension services from these youth which we've employed. And this youth we have employed, all 511, we have given motorbikes to everyone. We have given them tablets for data collection, and we have built capacity for these youth which are coming from the university. So the extension services which is being done now in Tanzania is so intensive. We are reaching every farmer in the villages. They are getting the knowledge on the best practice on how to manage and practice good agricultural practices in cashew. So the improvement of extension services is one of the big factors that has contributed to the improvement in production in Tanzania. Another thing, as I talked before, cashew is a crop which is sensitive to climate. So under Tanzania Meteorological Agency, we've been following up on the trend of rain and the other aspects like cold season and the hot season. So during this period, we have experienced a suitable climatic condition. For example, for the last year, we produced 528,000 metric tons. This year, we are expecting to produce 600,000. But if it was not the effect of the environment, which there was a cases of rain during the month of September, which affected some flowering. Without that effect of flowering in September last year, we were sure this year to produce more than 700,000. Suitability of the climate condition is one of the factors which is significant to the improvement of cashew. I think during this session also will be looking at one of the things which will be looked at on how the cashew producing countries, how do we mitigate the effect of the environment? Because cashew is sensitive to environment. During flowering, if there is too much cold, the flowers may not mature to fruitful, to get nuts. So the suitable climatic condition for the past 5 years has been one of the factors which contribute to the increase in production. But another factor is the availability of a stable cashewnut marketing system. As you know, in Tanzania, we are using warehouse receipt system in line with online trading system. So the use of warehouse receipt system in line with online trading system and the use of cooperative union from agricultural marketing and the union has resulted to the stable marketing system. When farmers, they are sure that they'll be able to sell their crop, they'll put more effort to produce their crop. So availability of this system and a proper marketing system which gives assurance to farmers of getting competitive price is one of the factors which makes farmers to put more effort into their farms, rejuvenate farms which are not productive, and a new entrant into the farming system. So the stable marketing system is also one of the motives which has contributed to the increment in the production, because more people are going to produce cashew and the more people are rejuvenating their farms. So these factors also is one of the factors which contribute to the increase in production. Another factor is the acreage expansion. As I told you before, initially we were producing cashew only in the southern part of Tanzania, but now We are having also central part of Tanzania is also producing cashew. Other regions like Morogoro, Singida, which we are not we are not there previously, but now they are also producing cashew. But also distribution of seeds, which has been supplied by TARI, which is one of the reputable and state-of-the-art research institute in Tanzania. We are able to expand crop to increase the area expansion of the area. For example, expansion of 3,066.6 acres of cashew farms has contributed to the increase in the yield. And our plan is to continue distribution of seedlings to ensure that we are increasing production. So this increment in production of more than 110 to 150,000 metric tons of cashew has contributed to the increase in the expansion of the acreage of cashew, of area under cashew production. I would like to talk about production estimate for 3 years. For the past 3 years, production in Tanzania has increased from 210,000 metric tons to 528,000 last year, 24-25. And I told you before, for the year 25-26, which we are now coming to an end, we are expecting to produce more than 600,000 metric tons. The increase in production is contributed to the integrated, including distribution of inputs under subsidy, control of pests and diseases, expansion of the acreage, and also improved extension services I talked before. So our plan, we are planning to increase production to reach 1 million tons by 2030. But also this increment in production goes in line with the intention to increase processing. So now we have established an industrial park called Maranje in Tanzania, where we are inviting investors to come. We have already put infrastructure in place, road networks, we are finalizing it. We've already put there electricity, we put water already. Now we are constructing a wall. We've already constructed there 2 warehouses, and we've got one local investor who is putting a plant to process more than 100,000 metric tons of RCN. So we are inviting investors to come to Tanzania. We are giving land free of charge for 66 years at Industrial Park. So if you come to Tanzania, if you don't have land at the Industrial Park, we'll give you land free of charge for 66 years. All you need to do is to build a plant and a process. But land is given free of charge. There is no cost for getting land at the Industrial Park. So we welcome investors who want to come to join us, because our plan is to increase production to 1 million tons by 2030, but also we want to process all our cashew by 2030. It's a very ambitious goal, but we hope we'll be able to achieve that. So let me talk on the challenges. One of the main challenges we are facing in cashew is the unreliable climatic condition. And this is one of the aspects I think in this meeting we need to discuss. How do we mitigate the impact of environmental changes? Because one of the main factors which is affecting our cashew production. As I told you before, without rain, which happened in September last year, this year will be producing not less than 700,000. But because of the rain, which affected flowering out of the season, we'll be producing around 600,000 at the end of the season. Also, there is the issue of unstable cashew price. You know, when prices becomes low, farmers' motivation to save their farms goes down. So it is very important for us, stakeholders here, to come up, how do we ensure farmers' value? Because without a farmer going to the farm to till and work in his farm, all of us in the supply chain, we are not there. So it's very important for us as the stakeholders to devise a mechanism to make sure that we are creating farmers' value. A farmer should get a price which him or her finds is suitable, and he or she should be willing to go back to the farm or expand farm so that the industry of cashew can continue to grow over the years to come. We are still facing low processing, but with the introduction of Maranje Industrial Park, and then now we are having a lot of investors from China, so we are hoping to increase processing significantly in the coming years. We are lucky that we got more than 4 or 5 investors from China who are putting big processing factory in Tanzania, so we hope to increase processing in Tanzania. So we invite other people to come to Tanzania and to invest in the cashew processing. I want to talk also, what do we expect the support from other international players? First of all, I'd like to appreciate the assistance we got from GIZ Move. GIZ Move, they supported through NITD. They did some research the last 2 years, which brought significant effect to on what we should do to improve processing. So we thank you so much, GIZ Move, for the support they provided to us. But also we want to say Transform Trade. Transform Trade is one of the international organizations also which is supporting us in the processing. Also, European Union is doing a lot of effort to support the cashew industry in Tanzania, so we appreciate so much. So we look forward to much assistance from this international organization, especially on the food safety standards, and to support our processing factories to meet international standards. It's very important because now the global and the customers now are becoming so sensitive on the type of food they are eating. So we'd like to get more support from EU, US, and the other international organizations on the food safety standard so that we can expand our access to premium markets like the EU, United States, China, and the other markets which can offer higher prices. Because once we get a bigger margin on kernels, that value will go back to the farm, and we'll have assurance that farmers will keep on servicing their farm. But also, we insist on joint support on research. We as Tanzania, through TARI, we've got a lot of expertise in research, but we think there should be collaboration between different countries. We should be exchanging knowledge so that the whole industry can prosper globally, especially on varieties and how to get seedlings which are more resistant to pests and diseases. Because due to climate change also, in Tanzania we are facing more diseases, so we need to work together to get more which are more resistant to pests and diseases. Last but not, we are inviting international investors to come to Tanzania to invest in Maranje Industrial Park. Thank you so much. We are here, and I hope we'll have more time for discussion and other sharing. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alfred, for making Tanzania sound so lucrative to the prospective investors. You do have a question, sir? We'll send a mic to you.
Director General, thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. I think we are going through a similar thing, and I just want to find out. All the seedlings given out, was it given out freely, or at a point you have to subsidize it?
Currently, we are distributing seedlings free of charge. Cashewnut Board of Tanzania is the one which establishes nurseries, and we give those seedlings free of charge to farmers. So it's a government subsidy. We are giving them free of charge.
May I invite the lovely Miss Belinda Korfa to please join us on the stage to present a memento to Mr. Alfred.